In 1984 was an extremely special year for me. We started that year off for the Tigers with the fantasy camp, and it continued right through the championship. I want to just introduce the guy who, in my opinion, made that team. He's become a great friend of the camp and a warm personal friend of ours. He's been on our crews. He's been to 5, 6 of these camps, and we know he's not feeling 100%, so I'm not going to ask him to talk or anything, but I just like him to be introduced because he's got to leave a little early and get his just applause. The Cy Young winner, MVP, Guillermo Hernandez. Without any further ado, the announcer, the broadcaster, the voice of our Tigers, Jim Price.
All right, listen, this is a very special night. This was a wonderful team. It excited the whole Midwest. I mean, the start was unbelievable, and to have all these fellas here tonight, even Rosie, is just fantastic.
Played with Sparky in Cincinnati. Sparky got me back in Detroit, and one of the greatest years that I experienced in professional baseball. The great start we got off to was, you couldn't make that happen. You can't reproduce that. It's just got to happen in its own special way. And thanks for having me. I love it. I love all the campers. And hey, we won today.
Thank you for being here and enjoying Detroit Tigers. It's my pleasure to play with these guys. It's great teams. So everybody played hard together. And I learned a lot about how to pitching because they have a good stuff, the pitching in there. They have a good bullpens. I have to pitch only 5, 6 innings. I can have the winning. And I just have a fun the whole week. And my team lose today, but thinking about tomorrow. It's never too late. Tomorrow go win the first game.
It is an honor to be here. I was very blessed when I got traded from Cincinnati. There was probably two guys who were key for me to be here. The late George Bradley was a scout who saw me while I was down in AAA. And an old coach of mine that was as nasty as you can be is a guy named George Sugar. And those two guys probably recommended me to Sparky Anderson. And I was just blessed to be a part of a great team. Something I'll never forget, even though I was brought up by the Red Organization, I thank God for those old scouts. I'm fighting for things I'm doing now, but George Bradley and George Sugar, thank you very much.
I grew up in Michigan. So, I mean, I was born and raised in Michigan, so Detroit Tigers was my home team my whole life. When I got this tattoo when I was 5 years old, it was about that big. I'm about 50 now, look how big it's getting. So I lived in 100s, we'd be about this big. No, it's just a special year. Like I said, I came up in '77, came through, see the team was developing. But Lou was with me, Peaches was with me, Brookie was with me, and everybody, Gibby and Lance and things like that. So you filter in the pieces of the puzzle, a few trades, a few good people, and then you make a nucleus, and this is what you got, 84 Tigers, world champions. Thank you.
We had good ball clubs, but we never won it except in '84. And believe me, that's what makes things special. When you win, you go away with accomplishment that doesn't happen very often in most cities. Some cities are fortunate enough they get a few more than other cities, but believe me, no one is more proud of what we accomplished on the field than the people, the 25 or 30 guys that spent that summer there playing ball, because for me, it was special like nothing else ever will be. Thank you.
So when I get to the opportunity to play in 1984, I already knew a few of those guys, you know, like Tommy and then Rosie and Lowry, because I was here in the print training before. But it was very special for me. 1984 was my rookie year, and I don't think you can do better than that. You know, coming from Cuba, 1980, speaking no English, and get to the Major League as a rookie year and win the World Champion was very, very special. So I always want to be thankful for the Tiger organization to give me that opportunity. Thank you.
'84, we were on a mission from day one, 35-5 start. But
was the best team I've ever been around. And I was fortunate and blessed that I was able to be on a team like the '84 team. Great coaching staff. Sparky and the coaches did a great job, and the fans, it was just great going to the ballpark. So sometimes you feel like you're on a mission and things fall in place, and that was a magic year in '84. I always remember it, and thankful that was a part of it. Thank you.
You know, I always heard about midlife crisis and all that kind of stuff, and I said, oh, that's a bunch of garbage and all that. Well, I turned 50 in November, and boy, you know, that midlife crisis, there's something to that, you know, and you start examining, you know, your youth and where you're going, and you know, when you sit back and you say, well, what have I accomplished? Well, you know what, geez, you know, you look back and you say, boy, I won the world championship with the '84 Tigers, but, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, you can sit back and say, man, I played with, you know, right next to Jack Morris, you know, Lou Whitaker, you know, I don't want to sit here and name everybody, but I mean, to sit back and say, man, if you never did another thing in your life, you know, you had the opportunity to win a championship, but to play with some of the greatest, you know, baseball players in the history of the game.
I'm very grateful being an average player playing with extraordinary guys, some extraordinary people. I mean, I got great friends. Most special time in my baseball career, from Little League all the way through the years that I spent in Detroit, and the fans, the campers here. I'm sure all of y'all supported us. It was just a special time, and I feel very grateful and to be a part of the Detroit organization. And I want to thank all of y'all.
Everybody knows about 35-5. We had a lot of things going for us, but it was very evident, I think, that we were going to be reckoned with in spring training. We had a great spring training, and everything fell into place. But I think that the thing that we had, other than great ball players, and we really did have a great ball club. I mean, when you talk about the Lou Whitakers and Alan Trammels, but we had a great bunch of secondary ball players. I don't want to say them secondary. I'm talking about Dave Bergman, Johnny Grubb, and I'd like to know how many games we won with our bench, guys coming off the bench.
If you really look at it, I really feel like we were one of the best baseball teams of all time that year. I mean, obviously we played that well, we had the record and all that kind of stuff, but the parts just fit so good, and we had this heart that on like no other team I ever played for, especially at that time. I had come over as a free agent, and everybody thought I was crazy. In fact, Howard Cosell even called me and said, what are you going to Detroit for? You could go to the Yankees and the Dodgers, and look how it turned out.
Listening to all these men that I had the opportunity to play with, there's really nothing else to say. They've said it all, and we did it, you know. We only got it once, but at least we taste the bitter fruits. I thank everybody for coming out. It's been a pleasure, and you know, when I look at these gentlemen here, I never not think about them. They're always on my mind. We never get together that often, but when we do, it is a very special moment. So thank everybody. Thank you, Detroit. Thank 1984. We will never forget it. Have a good night.